This is WLOX News Now at 6. Your news starts right now.
Today is the day. We are announcing a shelter-in-place order.
The clock is ticking, less than 48 hours to go until our entire state essentially shuts down. Governor Tate Reeves making that announcement, saying Mississippi is now at the point where drastic measures are needed to fight COVID-19. This shelter-in-place order is set to begin Friday at 5 p.m. and last until April the 20th at 8 a.m. That's on a Monday. Governor Reeves says he needs all Mississippians to follow this order so it doesn't have to last longer than it's planned.
Shelter-in-place orders are not sustainable for months and months and months on end. Our goal in the short term is to prevent our healthcare system from being overwhelmed. I pray that all of our orders and our preparations will be enough. We believe that this is the right tool at the right time to save lives. Today, this is the best course of action for Mississippi.
Taking a look now at some of those shelter-in-place rules, you are ordered to stay home except for limited places allowed in the order. Those include things like grocery stores, pharmacies, caring for a vulnerable person in need, and working for an essential business. All non-essential businesses are to stop activities than those necessary for minimum operations. Restaurants and bars can only be open for takeout or delivery services. Evictions are suspended, but you are still required to pay any rent or mortgage payment that you may have. Part of the order also includes closing beaches across the coast. Our Hugh Keaton joins us live in Pass Christian with more on beach closures. Hugh?
Yeah, well, it's certainly been a beautiful day filled with sunshine, as you can see here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And the perfect place to enjoy the nice weather is the beach. But starting this Friday at 5 o'clock, the beaches along the Mississippi Gulf Coast will be off limits. Now, today I've traveled along the beachfront in both Hancock and Harrison County. I did see a few people gathered, but no large groups, which is what this order is designed to prevent, large gatherings across the state. And also, according to the governor's order, beaches aren't the only public gathering places that will be closed to the public.
This is going to shut down all places of amusement and recreation, whether indoors or outdoors, including but not limited to amusement parks, rides, museums, playgrounds, children's party and play facilities, all parks, including all beaches, lakes, and reservoirs, but not including walking trails. Movie theaters, bowling alleys, and social clubs are being closed.
And I did speak with some people along the beach to get their reaction to the governor's order. And even though they were out enjoying the weather and the beach, they said they understand this order and they were willing to respect it and stay off the beach during the course of this order. And the beaches will remain closed until at least April 20th. Live in Pass Christian, Hugh Keaton, WLOX News Now.
Congressman Stephen Palazzo responding tonight to Governor Reeves' shelter-in-place order, urging all Mississippians to comply with the order and remain at home while we continue to fight this pandemic. Issuing a statement reading in part, "We are all facing an invisible enemy and must do what we can to fight back, which in this case means staying at home. Your choice to comply with the shelter-in-place order will save lives." Tonight, Jackson County tops the list of South Mississippi counties with the most cases of COVID-19, coming in at 52. Our Chancellor Nguyen joins us now live with more. Chancellor?
That is exactly right. There are more confirmed cases of COVID-19 here in Jackson County than anywhere else on the coast. Now, most of those cases, actually half of them, are in Moss Point. I spoke with the mayor of Moss Point, Mario King, and he said come Monday or Tuesday, they're going to be setting up a drive-through testing center because there are so many cases there. Mario King really wants to get a handle on it and make sure that everyone has the ability and the opportunity to get tested that is showing symptoms. Now, Mario King also says that, in Moss Point, there are a lot of hot spots, and a lot of those are at the essential businesses. Mario King says he wants to have the governor really define what an essential business is. It's a really large list right now, and he says that if it could be, narrowed down and stores could operate on a skeleton crew with less people inside, that they could still get their opportunities and their jobs done, But places like Wayne Lee's and other grocery stores in Jackson County, there are people still going in and out, which is understandable because they're needing to buy groceries and toilet paper, things like that. But I do notice a lot of them are wearing face masks, and employees have on gloves that are pushing carts around and helping people outside. But it's always important to make sure that you're maintaining that social distance and that you are using as many precautions as you can when you are going out. Now, again, Mayor Mario King says it is best to stay inside, but he understands, you do have to get your groceries and you have to care for you and your family. But just make sure that you are aware of your responsibilities of staying social distance. Reporting in Jackson County, Chancellor Wynn, WLOX News Now.
New regulations out of Ingalls today include an expanded Easter holiday and changed shift hours. Ingalls Shipbuilding President Brian Kuchis sent a letter today detailing those changes. When the shipyard returns to work after the Easter holiday, there will be a 1-hour gap between first and second shift, and the Easter holiday will give employees paid holiday Thursday, April the 9th, in addition to the Friday and Monday holidays that are already scheduled. Right now, crowds are growing outside some grocery stores due to social distancing efforts. Take a look at this. This is a live look at the Rouse's store in Gulfport. As you can see there is a line growing outside the store because store owners are working to keep crowds inside essential businesses much smaller. Curfews and mandatory business closures are now in effect in Gulfport. One business owner took matters of safety into his own hands about a week ago. Chet Landry is live in Gulfport now with more.
That's right, Allison. Kevin Riley is the owner here at Dad's Super Pond, and as you can see, he's got a tent set up right here in the parking lot. Now, he began the process of checking folks at his door before they go in back on March 22nd. His business is considered essential because he cashes checks, and he's got a system where he allows individuals to come in and pay utility bills. So now he is sanitizing the hands of every person that walks through his door and is no longer just allowing people to come in and browse the collection or to just kill time. Riley's taken this pandemic seriously, and while his new setup has admittedly not made him very popular, he says it's time for people in South Mississippi to take the coronavirus seriously too.
We have been very proactive in sanitizing everything in the store. We're an essential business from the financial standpoint. We're trying to be very proactive and keep everybody safe, including our customers and our staff.
Now, I did get a chance to stop over at the Home Depot in Gulfport and found out that they were also limiting people going into their store. They only allow people into one entrance and exit out of two entrances. All three were all in completely different places. As they got to their 5% of their maximum capacity allowed by the new mandate here in Gulfport, they stopped letting people in. As one person would leave, they would let someone else in. So businesses here in Gulfport following yesterday's mandate and today's mandate by Governor Tate Reeves. For now, reporting live in Gulfport, Chet Landry, WLOX News Now.
Now, WLOX First Alert Weather.
And we just got confirmation just before 6 o'clock. This tornado through George County yesterday, it was an EF1 tornado. It was 95-mile-per-hour winds. The path of that storm, over 8 miles. It was 50 yards wide. There was only one injury, no fatalities, thank goodness. It started about 4 miles southeast of Bendale, which is right around the corner of 26 and 57, and it ended 6.5 miles south of Loosedale. So that just coming in from the National Weather Service, and that system has moved well away from our area. In fact, even off of the tip of Florida, right now we are seeing high pressure. It was nice and cool this morning. It's been beautiful and pleasant all day. We are going to see another cool night tonight with temperatures dropping into the 50s and even some 40s again in South Mississippi. Your full forecast details straight ahead.
Concerns growing over the possibility of an imminent opening for the Bonnie Carey Spillway. That is 2 turtles released today that scientists nurse back to health after the last spillway opening. Plus, the push by one local restaurant owner to make sure that others in the industry who lost their jobs don't go hungry.
The news for South Mississippi continues. WLOX News Now at 6.
Concerns are growing over the possibility that the Bonnie Carey Spillway could reopen as soon as Friday. This news comes just as the Institute for Marine Mammal Studies releases the final 2 sea turtles nursed back to health after last year's 2 spillway openings. They're now bracing for the worst once again. Our Desiree Duncan has the story.
It's release day for Larson and Livy. The pair of Kemp's Ridley sea turtles were found stranded last fall, shortly after the closing of the Bonnie Carey Spillway. is now back to home sweet home for the critically endangered turtles after months of rehabilitation at IMMS.
Playing that part in conservation and playing that part in getting them back into their natural habitat is very rewarding for all the staff.
Last year proved to be disastrous for the Gulf's marine life after back-to-back openings of the Spillway. And now the Army Corps of Engineers announced it may reopen the Spillway this week.
We've had quite a few strandings already at this point, and we know that there's a potential that they're opening the Spillway again at the end of this week. So we're preparing in case we see the same types of numbers this year again.
It's the last thing Mississippi needs as the state and the rest of the country battle the coronavirus pandemic.
Today, Mississippi finds itself between the rock and a hard place. I think we are one of those only states in the union that is faced with this dilemma.
A dilemma that IMMS Executive Director Moby Solangi says they're determined to get through.
We are on the job regardless of anything going on because these animals need help. We are trying our best to save animals that have no voice.
In Gulfport, Desiree Duncan, WLOX News Now.
IMMS encourages anglers to always call the 24/7 stranding hotline if they hook a sea turtle or see any other kind of marine animal in distress. That number is 1-800-SOS-Dolphin. The Mississippi Sound Coalition is paying close attention to the impending opening. Members had a conference call this morning. Gerald Blessey, manager of the coalition, says they're doing everything they can to avoid further catastrophe, saying, quote, "This whole situation heightens the need for our senators and congressmen to adopt the Mississippi Sound and Lake Pontchartrain Protection Act to give the Corps and the Mississippi River Commission the authority and the money to develop alternatives to opening the Bonnie Carey or reduce the days it's opened." Layoffs and closings have hurt the service industry on the coast particularly hard. The sight of empty restaurants is common everywhere. Many restaurants are staying open by providing curbside and delivery service, but that still leaves a lot of people in the restaurant and bar industry out of work. One coast restaurant owner is trying to show those workers some love by offering a discounted meal.
They can come in and they can pay what they want, basically, and we're here to make sure everybody has food, everybody's willing. We're here for our coast family because I think it takes us to stay strong and everybody stays together and we're all going to be okay.
And restaurant workers can get those discounted meals at Shipyard in Ocean Springs, Billups in Biloxi, and Pass Christian and Fields in Bay St. Louis. The pandemic hitting Wall Street hard, but that's not stopping some students from investing. That's paying them some dividends.
And it is going to be chilly again tonight. We'll have a closer look at your forecast coming up right after the break. But first, to look at that marine forecast for tonight and a look at your tides for tonight into tomorrow morning.
Now, WLOX First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Carrie Duncan.
Well, good evening, South Mississippi. Here's what we are going to expect as we head through the next couple of days. Clear skies tonight, cool tonight, and will be dry again tomorrow. But the temps are gradually going to rise. We'll see that humidity return, and we will start to see slight rain chances into the weekend. But beautiful views right now. That IP Casino Resort and Spa Tower Cam in Biloxi showing fantastic blue skies. Your weather on the go showing no rain chances. Temperatures dropping back into the 50s tonight, and inland locations could be in the mid to upper 40s once again. So another chilly start to the day tomorrow. And look at this view. That sun setting. It's going to be a beautiful sunset in South Mississippi tonight. Overlooking the harbor from our Hancock Whitney Tower Cam in downtown Gulfport and Silver Slipper Bay St. Louis. Some folks out enjoying the beach while they can, but it does look like very good social distancing as well. Around town, temperatures upper 60s to low 70s right now. Our highs today, very pleasant and where they should be this time of year. Low 70s, some mid 70s, and look at our low temperatures this morning. Mid 40s. I know at my house up in Wool Market, we were picking up right about 43.7 was one of the coldest. I think that was the coldest reading this morning, but 46 here at the station, 51 at Navigator Credit Union. So closer to the water, temperatures just a little bit higher. Rain chances over the next several days staying fairly low. Our highest chance does look like it could come in on Monday at about a 30% chance. Just doesn't look real promising for a lot of rain. Any of the amounts that we're seeing are going to be pretty much generally less than 1/4 of an inch over the next week. Now, certainly that could change, but as of right now, just not looking good for a lot of rain. WLOX first alert radar showing we're really not seeing any rain now, and we don't expect any rain. We expect nice temperatures and mostly clear skies. Currently, those temperatures into the upper 60s and low 70s. The dew points are very low. Look at that, Van Cleve, 39-degree dew point. That is dry air here in South Mississippi, and you can certainly feel the difference. We're going to keep that dry air with us through much of the day Thursday, but then we'll start to see some of that humidity pushing back by Friday. Here's a quick peek though at actually what we're going to be seeing with our futurecast. You'll notice that we do start to see more cloud cover coming in late Thursday and into Friday. That's indicating more humidity back into the area, but overall it's still going to be very nice. Cool in the morning hours, upper 40s to low 50s, and then we see highs tomorrow a little bit warmer into the low and mid 70s, and then another cool but nowhere near as cool. So temperatures gradually increasing for Friday morning into the mid and upper 50s, and then almost near 80 degrees for Friday as well. So that high temperature trend shows that gradual rise as we head through the weekend and into next week, and we'll expect to see our overnight lows doing the same thing with that gradual rise. But overall, it really does look like a nice but dry, mostly week ahead.
The coronavirus pandemic impacting many areas of life, including the stock market, but that's not stopping some local students who are taking this opportunity to dive into investing. People may be losing a lot of money in the stock market right now, but students all over the coast are capitalizing on the coronavirus pandemic turned economic nightmare. As our Mike Lacey reports, the strategy is simple. More foresight plus less emotion is a winning formula for one of the few competitions left this school term.
And you can see all the way back to 19.
Biloxi High School economics teacher Daniel Wazelenko has led teams to 2 state championships in the stock market game over the 10 years he's been involved. Everything about this year is different, including a basic winning strategy.
We focus more on coronavirus-related stocks versus what we normally would focus on.
And this year has obviously been a challenge to remotely coach his 20 teams involved from his classroom, but it seems to be working. One of his teams has a solid first-place lead in the region.
This stock market game is not only giving students something to do during this time, but it's also teaching them a huge lesson and taking advantage of an opportunity that may never happen again.
When we're watching the circuit breakers on the market, when it dropped certain percents and they shut the trading down for X number of minutes or whatever, we watched it live, and I said, guys, you don't get to see this very often. And it was just pretty historic.
Senior Madison Walker is on the top high school team headed into the final week of competition.
This has definitely been a fun group project because we're always texting each other, looking at our portfolio, seeing what we can sell, what we can buy. I think we're doing good because we bought them early.
The lesson learned?
I've learned how through a global pandemic how to actually make money through the stock market if you just look at trends and not base it off of emotion.
But would she put her own cash on the line?
I'm not sure if I'd take it that far, but we're doing pretty good right now with our fake money.
In Biloxi, Mike Lacey, WLOX News Now.
The contest ends on April the 10th. By the way, among the big investments that caught the attention of students before COVID-19 even reached our shores were Zoom, Netflix, and a vaccination company. They've been feeding the needy in West Harrison County since 2005, but now their mission may be in danger. Goodwill Missionary Baptist Church in Pass Christian announced today they are shutting down their meal service for 2 weeks. Because their volunteers are also older, they need to stop to give them a rest. New volunteers could keep the mission open. If you yourself can volunteer, you can call Gone Fishing Missions at the number that you see there on your screen. And we will be right back with one last look at your weather forecast.
Here's a look at what we are going to expect. Number one, a gorgeous sunset tonight here in South Mississippi. Clear skies. It is going to be cool again tonight and dry again tomorrow, but temperatures will be gradually on the rise. We'll also see the humidity on the rise, and we'll see a chance for some showers, but not tonight. It is going to be a nice cool night with temperatures into the low 50s along the coast, so some upper 40s certainly still in our interior locations, and the next 7 days look pretty good. Our rain chances look limited, but we are watching a system, and depending on where it goes, will of course determine how much rain we could see at the beginning of next week.
Weather is perfect today. We can say that for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Carrie, and thanks for joining us here tonight.